Hare Krishna. Good evening, everyone. We are going to start our class with some invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We are reading this evening. Good evening, Anasia and Marielle. And Valerie is here, and Kara and Vidura are coming. Tonight we are going to discuss the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, verse 40. I'm going to share it on the screen for those of you who may not have the Bhagavad Gita in front of you. So Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 40. We are going to first go to one Sanskrit word at a time. And to do that, we look in the synonyms, and we are going to repeat after me. Valerie will do that, and you can do that online. One word, Sanskrit word at a time. Na, iha, abhikrama, nasha, asti, pratyavaya, na, vidyate, swalpam, api, asya, dharmasya, trayate, mahata, payat. Good evening. You have Bhagavad Gita over there, Kara and Vidura. So now we are going to repeat one line at a time of the verse. Nea bikramana shosti. Pratavayo navidyate. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya. Trayate mahato bayat. Neha bikramana shosti. Patyavayo navidyate. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya. Trayate mahato bayat. Neha bikramana shosti. Patyavayo navidyate. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya. Trayate mahato bayat. Let's chant.
Neha vikramana shosti.
Neha vikramana shosti.
Pratyavaya navidyate.
Patyavayo navidyate.
Svapamapyasya dharmasya.
Swalpamapyasya dharmasya.
Trayate mahato bhayat.
Trayate mahato bayat.
Neha bikramana shosti.
Neha bikramana shosti.
Pratyavayo navidyate.
Patyavayo navidyate.
Svapamapyasya dharmasya.
Swalpamapyasya dharmasya.
Trayate mahato bayat.
Trayate mahato bayat. Someone would like to close the door. Someone online would like to chant the verse?
I like to. Oh, sorry, you go first.
Anasuya, go ahead. And then Marielle, you can go after Anasuya, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. Nihavikrana Nasus
Neha Vikramana Shosti,
Pratyavau no Vidate
Pratyavayo Navidyate,
Svapamapi Asya Dharmasya
Sarvamapyasya Dharmasya,
Trayate Mahato Bayat
Kayate Mahato Bayat. Marielle?
Neha Vikramana Susti
Neha Vikramana Shosti,
Pratyavayo Navidyate
Pratyavayo Navidyate,
Swapamapi Asya Dharmasya
Swapalvapyasya Dharmasya,
Trayate Mahato Vayat.
Kayate Mahato Bayat. Someone else online would like to chant? Okay. So we are going to go to the synonymous. Word for word translation. Repeat after me. Now, there is not
There is not
Iha
Iha
in this world,
in this world,
Abikrama,
Avikrama,
endeavoring,
endeavoring,
Nasha,
Nasha,
loss,
loss,
Asti,
Asti,
there is,
there is,
Pratyavaya,
Pratyavaya,
diminution,
diminution,
Na,
not,
never,
never,
Vidyate,
Vidyate,
there is,
there is,
Swalpam,
Swapam,
little,
little,
happy,
happy,
also,
although,
Asya,
Asya,
of this,
this,
Dharmasya,
the
of this occupation,
of this occupation,
Trayate,
Trayate,
releases,
releases,
Mahata,
Mahata,
of very great,
a very good,
Payat,
Bayat,
from danger.
from danger.
So we can see the word Trayate, isn't it? Trayate, when we present the mantra, on Tuesday night I present the Maha Mantra, I say mantra. So mana means mind, and tra means Trayate, to extricate the mind, free the mind. So as we look at the word for word translation, we get to more and more learn vocabulary, Sanskrit vocabulary. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen translation. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Activity in Krishna consciousness, or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification, is the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small beginning of such activity finds no impediment, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Any work begun on a material plane has to be completed, otherwise the whole attempts become a failure. But any work begun in Krishna consciousness has a permanent effect, even though not finished. The performer of such a work is therefore not at a loss, even if his work in Krishna consciousness is incomplete. 1% done in Krishna consciousness bears permanent result, so that the next beginning is from the point of 2%, whereas in material activity, without 100% success, there is no profit. Ajamil performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna consciousness, but the result he enjoyed at the end was 100% by the grace of the Lord. There is a nice verse in this connection in Srimad Bhagavatam. Tyatvya swadharmam sharanam bhujamarer Pajam napakota pateta toyadi. Yatra kwapa drama Buddha musyakim. Kavarta apto bhajatam swapa dharmata. If someone gives up self-gratificatory pursuit and walk in Krishna consciousness and then falls down on account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? And what can one gain if one performs material activities perfectly? That's from Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, chapter 5, verse 17. Or, as the Christians say, what profiteth a man if he gain the whole world, yet suffer the loss of his eternal soul? Material activities and their results end with the body, but work in Krishna consciousness carries a person again to Krishna consciousness, even after the loss of the body. At least one is sure to have a chance in the next life of being born again as a human being, either in the family of a great cultured Brahman or in a rich aristocratic family that will give one a further chance for elevation. That is a unique quality of work done in Krishna consciousness. In Krishna, I'm going to recite some verses that you can find at the very beginning of the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. You can chant along if you choose. Om Jnana Dasya Jnanachala Shalakaya Shakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Upakadamayam Dadati Swapadam Tikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shah Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyacha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvesesha Shunyavadi Paschyacha Dejatarine. Hare Krishna. I'm going to read the verse again. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So I'm going to speak my realization and knowledge from this verse, and then after that, I will open for conversation, philosophical conversation between all of us here. Some 3 people here, guests, and then 5 guests online. So this verse is at a juncture in chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. Before that, Krishna it describes Sankhya Yoga, an analytical study of the body and the soul. And then he said, okay, so you got that now. Now you need to learn how to work. And that's kind of a segue to the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where we are going to learn about Karma Yoga. So in that, like Krishna in the previous verse, we can read the previous verse, is saying, thus far I have declared unto you the analytical knowledge of Sankhya philosophy. Now listen to the knowledge of yoga, whereby one works without futile result. O son of Pika, when you act by such intelligence, Buddhi yoga, by such intelligence, you can free yourself from the bondage of work. And then he goes into like, and it doesn't matter. Because all work, as we know work in our material consciousness, we know work that means like if I want to achieve something, I need to work very, very hard. I need to make a plan and I need to execute my plan and then work very hard. But unless I complete the task, then there is no result. Yeah. Let's say I go in the kitchen, I want to make something, and I buy the vegetable and I wash the vegetable, I cut the vegetable, I put them in a pot. I did, like 60, 70% of the work. It's a lot of work. But if I stop there is zero result. Isn't it? And so in every material endeavor, it's like that. Whatever we put, if it doesn't come, we don't come to completion, then whatever effort we put before that is kind of a waste. Like it doesn't go anywhere. So here, Srila Prabhupada and Krishna said, don't worry. Whatever you do in spiritual life, whatever little you do, like if you chant 1 round, or if you chant 10, if you sweep the temple room, if you think of Krishna, if you pray to Krishna, whatever little you do, this is for your eternal benefit, and it's 100% success. Is that amazing? Is that so encouraging that whatever we do is 100% success? My do Qigong for my health. And my Qigong teacher, I really like him. He said, when we do Qigong, he said, if you do a little bit, 1 minute, once a week, that's good. If you do 10 minutes, 3 times a week, that's even better. And then if you do 20 minutes every day, that's the best. So all that to say that in spiritual life, like it's his philosophy about Qigong, but, like I will, I'm not saying I agree with that or not. But in spiritual life, it's very much like that. That's good. Whatever we do is good. And then if we do more, it's even better. And if we do even more, we commit to a practice and we follow through our commitment to the practice, that's the best. But notice that in saying that, there is no minus, there is no negative, there is no like bad, there is nothing bad. It's just our mind create by expectation, emotional attachment to expectation, I should do more. That's when we create the negativity. That's when we create the friction. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna makes sure that we understand that whatever we do is good. It's good. It can be better. Yes. It can be the best. Yes, that's true. But it's good. There's no bad. And let's say where I wanted to go, because I can't get lost and speak too much. So in Srila Prabhupada, he speaks towards the middle of his purport. He speaks about in the beginning. So I really love that too. And I observe that when people come to Krishna consciousness, some people, they come to Krishna consciousness, and then as soon as they jump a little bit, all of a sudden they go deep. They go deep, they feel enlightened, they have deep realization, they feel like, wow, this is my path, this is what I've been looking for all my life. And it's because of this verse. We will understand because of this verse, because life after life after life, whatever we perform towards Krishna in devotional service is kept in our spiritual bank account. We have a spiritual bank account, and that bank account never get depleted. We can invest. And whatever we invest there stays there. And even when all our endeavors stop because of the loss of the body, then that bank account is still there for us to connect with. And then when people come to Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says, if you do 1% in one beginning, you do 1% of devotional service. Then when we begin again, which means the next life, you will start with 2%. Is that generous? Is that so generous? So when people start in their journey of Krishna consciousness, they often have a bank account, a spiritual bank account, some credit. And then as soon as they start, that's why sometimes I see people coming to Krishna consciousness, and at the beginning it's really easy. It's very easy. It's like if we dig a field, like, we clear a field and we take all the rocks and all the weeds, and then that's all we do. Then maybe it will rain, maybe there will be a winter going over, but still the topsoil is still very soft. Even so, next year we come back, and then we go and we dig, and even so there's maybe a little crust at the top of that fertile soft soil, but that little crust is very easy to break, and then we enter in a soft soil. But then if we want to go deeper, let's say we want to dig a hole to plant a tree, then we will need to dig deeper, and then the work starts. So in our spiritual life, we do 1% last life, we keep that credit, we come back in this lifetime, we have 2%, we are just enlightened as soon as we start chanting, as soon as we start hearing or praying, naturally in this life, it becomes natural. But then at one point or another, then we start to need to invest more than what's already there. Yeah. And so that principle is highlighted in Srila Prabhupada's purport. And so even if we are not successful, it doesn't matter. It's all good. Whatever we do in this life, it's all good. Even if we are not successful, we know that next life I can continue. And that gives me a lot of peace inside. That, okay, I have a psychophysical nature in this life. I have a body with some demands, and I have a mind, I have intelligence, I have a certain type of false identification, certain type of false ego. That's my vehicle. I am driving with that vehicle. I'm not trying to make it wrong. I'm not trying to make it right. I'm jumping in a vehicle and I'm driving. I'm moving forward towards the goal of life. And then where will my vehicle take me? I don't know. I'm going to give 100%. And maybe I will achieve perfection. Maybe not. But it doesn't matter, because on the map, wherever I arrive, like when I get my new vehicle, I start from here. I don't need to redo all the distance that I already drove through. So, and then, like maybe I will get a better vehicle with a better body, a better mind, a better intelligence, a better, constellation of false identification to continue my journey. So it's if we can, we can think of that. Bahunam Janmanamante Gyanavanmam Papadyanti Vasudeve Savamiti Samahatma Sudolavi là-bas. Bahunam Janmanamante. Bahunam is said like, like as we go to birth and death, Janmanamante. Like if we are if Gyanavam Mam Prapadanti, if we know Gyanavam, knowing Mam Prapadanti, like with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we surrender unto that Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva Iti, Vasudeva, that's that person. And when we know that and we surrender, we realize it's the cause of all causes. And such a person is very rare. So even if we are not successful, it's very rare to surrender to the personality of Godhead, to surrender knowing the cause of all causes. And let me see. I don't want to go too far with the time, making sure we have time together to speak. So so what's the most? He said. I was expecting that question, so I got prepared. Protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. What is that most dangerous type of fear? So Lord Krishna said to Arjuna that in the Bhagavad Gita, the 8th chapter, 16 verse, I'm not very good at remembering the verses. Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punar Avartino Juna. And after he said, Mam Upati tu Konteya Punar Janma Navidyate. So from the lower from the higher planetary system of Brahma down to the lowest in the material world, every place is a place of misery where repeated births and deaths take place. So that's what it is. Imagine taking birth again, going back to the birth, childhood, going back to all the anchoring and lamenting and the stress. Imagine, that's fearful, that's scary, that's not natural for the soul. What to speak of going to, like, not even a human species. Of course, in this purport, Srila Prabhupada said, if we have any bank account, spiritual bank account, we are guaranteed to take birth as a human being. That's pretty good, because for the soul, it's very embarrassing to take birth in a dog body or a cat body or a pig body. Imagine that, how terrifying it is for the soul. The soul is Satchit Ananda. It's like eternal, full of knowledge and bliss, and it needs to be like prisoner in a body of a hog or a dog or roaches. So if we practice any level of devotional service, we are guaranteed that in our next life we have a human birth, and the human birth is very, very special, very rare. The human birth is very, very, very rare. And the human birth have one boon that's not there in other species, is that in the human birth, we can ask questions. At Toto Brahma Vidyasa, we can ask questions about the absolute truth. And then from that inquiry, we can start again our journey and continue our journey. And okay, so where do I want to go now? So action. So when we act, we often think that we are the doer. But in reality, we are not the doer. Prakriti Kriya Manani. Guna Sarvasya. Guna Sarvasya. Guna Sarvasya. Guna Karmani Sarvasya. So Prakriti, like the material nature. Prakriti, material nature. Prakriti Kriya Manani. Material nature is at work. And how the work is done? By the Triguna. So that's the Trigunas, they're doing their work. But we are so bewildered. Ahankara Vimudatma Muda, the Atma Muda, the bewildered Muda, but the So Ahankara, the false ego, bewildered Atma, and he thinks that I am the doer. He thinks that I am doer, when in reality only the material nature and the Triguna are at work. So Krishna said from the verse before is that learn to work as a service to me. And the first line of this purport that Srila Prabhupada said, activity in Krishna consciousness or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification is the highest transcendental quality of work. So if we want to give quality to our work, then here, the highest quality of work is to act for the pleasure of Krishna, the pleasure of the spiritual master, the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, without any desire for sense gratification. And then Karmasya, no. Dharma swanustita pumsam vikshvasena katasuya nat padayet adiratim shrama eva kevalam. It said like all occupational activities are ultimately made for self-realization, and they shouldn't be used for any other purpose. And everything that's not conducive for hearing the message of Vasudeva is Shrama Eva Ikevalam. Shrama Eva Ikevalam, what does that mean? A useless waste of time. So anything we do that's not to please Krishna is like being an hamster in a hamster wheel. What does it create? What does it contribute? What does it change for the world? An hamster in a hamster wheel. Nothing. It's a waste of time. It does nothing. It's like moving bricks from ear to ear. What does that change? Nothing. We are at the end of life, we will die, disappear. All our achievements are going to die with us. And you know, nothing has changed. There is still war, there is still disease, there is still famines, there is still all the threefold miseries. So unless we really turn to act to Krishna for the pleasure of Krishna or his devotees, serving the devotees of Krishna are not different than serving Krishna. And as long as it's not for our own sense gratification, then that is the perfection of our work, the ultimate work. Sarvam pumsa parodamo. This one I knew. Yato bhakti agdo chaji haita kiya pratiyata. Yayatma suprasidati. Yeah. So savam pumsa parodamo, the ultimate dharma, the ultimate occupation of human being is that which one man render loving devotional service into the transcendent Lord. Loving devotional service into the transcendent Lord. And such a work need to be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. Unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So when we do that parodharma, when we really focus all our activity towards the Lord, then our being is fully satisfied. There is no part of us that are going to be carried away by the misery, the threefold misery of this material world. I'm going to stop here. I may speak longer later on, but I just want to check with everyone where we are at and if there is any question. So I'm going to repeat the verse for now, and then we can continue. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Any question or comment? Sharing.
I could so many wonderful points. Nice class that you gave. And just going back to one of the points that you made in the beginning of your class that really that I really thought deeply about was how we make a certain percentage of progress, 1%, 2%, and then in our next life we're guaranteed that human birth, and it may feel a little easy to get into that. That's why we all take to Krishna consciousness relatively easily in this life. If we do, it's because we've made that progress in the previous life, And so it comes very naturally this life. But then, like you said, there's a certain point that you hit where you kind of hit like solid ground, like solid
I
soil.
didn't do that work yet.
Right. And it's very, I feel like that's very important to keep in mind. And it could be encouraging too, because at some point in our devotional life and our devotional progress in Krishna consciousness, we do feel where it really starts to get rough, you know? And like all along, like this whole time, it's been really smooth and easy, but now we've reached a point where, oh, this is hard, or it feels very challenging to get past this point. Like, but that's where the work really needs to be done, like you said. And so that could be encouraging, because now you know, like, okay, this is where I probably stopped in my previous life or something like that. That's where I ended. So let me push through and make that breakthrough, and make that breakthrough of progress. And so that if we do have to take another life, like we've already accomplished that much at least. But hopefully we don't have to take another life, because as Prabhupada mentions Ajamil in his purport, and Ajamil, it's a nice pastime, as y'all may know of it, but he was a practicing Brahmana in his youth, and he was very rigid, and he followed all the principles and the regulations, and then he fell victim to a prostitute, right? And so he went his whole life just kind of temporary fall down sort of thing. And because in Krishna, that shows he's the perfect example of that. In Krishna consciousness, there is no loss of ammunition. So one might think like, oh, he was a nice practicing Brahmin and a Vaishnava devotee, but then, oh, you spend your whole life as like a debauchee or something. Surely all that devotional progress is out the window, right? But no, at the time of death, he had his son named Narayan, and he simply chanted Narayan. Prabhupada says that he chanted it without offense. Technically, he just chanted it without any kind of ulterior motive, and that was Krishna's mercy. Due to Krishna's mercy, Krishna took that. Okay, he's remembering me at the time of death. Let me remember his devotional service that he performed. At some point, it's like, forget his whole life of debauchery and nonsense. I'm not even, Krishna doesn't even care about that. He remembers the little service that the devotee does.
Yeah.
And so he helps you at the time of death too. So that was Krishna's arrangement, that Ajamil had his son named Narayan, and he remembered, he somehow called out to his son's name. That's all Krishna's arrangement, and to save his devotee.
Yeah.
And so that's just the beauty of devotional service, is there's no loss of ammunition. And so why spend time on anything else, right?
Yeah. That's
like, it's easier said than done. I'm not fully contradicting that in my behavior, but really, when you think about it, why spend time on anything else? Logically, if this is the only thing that has any value, any lasting permanency, at least dedicate some time every day to adding to that permanent bank account. So anyways, there's so many nice points and things.
Thank you. Thank you. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he said, like, Ajamil was 100%. He gave 1%. He gave very little. He just called his son. Like Prabhupada gave an example also of Putana. Putana, she was a witch, and she came to Krishna, and she wanted to kill Krishna. She wanted to kill Krishna. She was a witch, and she had smelled some poison on her breast to kill baby Krishna. But because she acted like as a mother giving her breast, he accepted a little bit of service that was there, very small, and he freed her from like really a hellish life. So Ajamil is a good example. Prabhupada gave here 100% successful because he had a serious bank account. He had some credit. And another aspect of that pastime with Ajamil is that he gave himself to a very debauched, degraded life. Prostitutes, stealing, robbing, all that. However, Srila Prabhupada expand on the fact that our material desire had no power to kill our devotional service. Only offenses to a pure devotee can destroy our devotional creeper. So, like we can see, like sometimes we look at ourselves and maybe we are not perfect because we are not. We are not supposed to be either. And even so, we have all those weaknesses and shortcomings. Krishna is so kind. And it's not because of our qualification that we are going to go back to Godhead. It's because of our love and our desire to serve the Lord. And as long as we develop that desire to serve the Lord, regardless what's happening, regardless our weaknesses, the Lord is going to help us back to Him, like He did with Ajamil. And Vidura, I appreciate your first point, because you took birth as a devotee. So we can see from this Prabhu who just shared that to take birth, the way you took birth in a Vaishnava family, that means you have a pretty comfy bank account. Yeah, I didn't take birth in a Vaishnava family.
Might not be much in there.
None of us here besides Kanch here and yourself. I've taken, so that's nice to know that, okay, my next life, if I don't make it in this lifetime, then that works. I may take birth like Vidura in a Vaishnava family, and from birth learn the Bhagavad Gita, learn the verses from the Bhagavad Gita, chant Hare Krishna, and eat Krishna Prashadam, and serve Krishna.
Yeah. I've personally felt like you said about hitting that point where it becomes difficult.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, yeah, I had a good some opportunity to resume that, and Krishna's given us all
Opportunity.
He's given us all our own opportunity to take up Krishna consciousness again. Because of course, if you take up Krishna consciousness in this life at whatever point, you must have performed it in the previous life, right?
Oh, there's a start somewhere.
Yeah, but like I feel like certain areas in my life, I need to work harder, and,
Yeah.
and it's not very far either. Like it's it's like a very beginning
Challenge.
Yeah, very very beginner.
Very beginner, and I appreciate your point is that if we are here in a material existence, suffering the threefold, misery, that means we didn't make it in our previous life. Or we didn't do much in our previous life, or maybe we didn't do anything in our previous life. And some of us, maybe it's our first life practicing, seriously practicing God consciousness. And so to remember that when things become difficult, that, okay, it was easy, it was fun until now.
Right.
And then now I reached the point where I was my past life. And now I have the choice. I can do like I did previous life, stop here and then turn the other way because it's too hard. Or I can decide, no, this lifetime, I'm going to make it. It's like a student, like I imagine a medical student would go to school, but then he doesn't do well at his exam and he need to redo the same class again and again. And then, the second time or the third time, well, that's where I got stuck. I didn't study enough, or I didn't understand. I didn't do everything I could do really make it to get my license or to get my degree in medicine. So that's the same thing. You know, if we are here, that means that we didn't make it, and there is a reason. And then for you, it's obvious because you took birth as a devotee, so you know that you have past credit. You know, personally, I never believed that. Oh, I don't like to put myself in that consciousness. I prefer to say, okay, Srila Prabhupada is so mercifully picked me up, but now I have a chance. I have a chance to follow Srila Prabhupada. I have a chance to surrender to Srila Prabhupada. And also, yeah, you have your hand raised.
Hi, Krishna.
Right?
I was appreciating class and I was just thinking about how you are so clever. Like when you engage someone in service and they don't really know that they're engaging in service to a devotee, and therefore I was just curious, like, so did you just help that spirit soul put something in their spiritual bank account? And so like engaging others in service for Krishna is maybe like really benefiting them. Like that makes it more attractive for me to like ask others to help me in something that I know is going to maybe contribute to their bank account.
Thank you, Anansi. I wanted to go in that direction, so thank you. It's nice. I will have forgotten. It's called Agyata Sukriti. So Sukriti is like our credit Sukriti. And then Agyata means unknown credit, that we have unknown credit. And I believe that's how I came to Krishna consciousness. You know, I received, the first time I was 11-year-old, I received a little bottle of sandalwood oil, and there was a little Krishna. It's like spiritual sky. It was Prabhupada's movement, Prabhupada's disciple. You know, I was 11, so it was 73, something like that. And I received a little picture of Krishna, and I love that bottle. I always kept it. I emptied it because it was smelling so good. And then after I kept it. That was Agyata Sukriti. Whatever the devotees, what they were doing, they were putting oil in little bottle and selling them, mass selling them. Everyone who got those little bottle of oil, those oil were offered to Krishna. So I got that bottle of oil. I was 11-year-old. I loved the bottle. I loved the picture of Krishna. I had no idea what it was, but I just loved it. Agyata Sukriti. I was doing service. I was putting oil that were offered to Krishna. I was smelling Krishna's oil. I was looking at Krishna's picture. I had no idea I was doing devotional service, but they knew, those devotees who created spiritual sky, they had the intention to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And then next time, I was 15, it was 1977. I was on my bike, coming back from, the middle school. I was the end of the last year of middle school. I was on my bike, coming back home on my bike. And there is someone stopping me. He stopped me, and, I was really always like open to meet new people. So I stopped. And he put a Bhagavad Gita in my hand, a French Bhagavad Gita. And he said, "Can give a donation?" I said, "I'm not going to give you a donation. I'm 15. What do I care about that book? If I have money, I keep it in my pocket." So I didn't give him a donation. He gave me the book. I went home. I read a few words. I didn't understand anything because it was Sanskrit. I didn't know how to read that book. I didn't know what that book was. Agyata Sukriti. I did some service there. Just receiving the book, holding the book, and opening the book, and keeping the book. Interestingly, and I heard that many times, when I moved out of my parents' house. I was 19, and after I moved houses, that book was always with me, even though I never read it. So it's a really important point what you're making, is that we can engage. Like when I go out and I see homeless, I give them something. Like yesterday, I was just passing by in Alachua at the corner of 75. I gave him, "Oh, you want some peanuts?" I gave him some peanuts. Prashadam, Agyata Sukriti. That's going to his spiritual bank account. Spiritual bank account is started. Will he like fructified in this lifetime? I don't know, but it's going to fructify sooner or later. Those candy we distributed together Yeah, remember when we go out and we distribute candies? Those candies, same thing, I get a sukriti. And we create the sukriti by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. We are carrying Srila Prabhupada's mercy towards those people when we give a lollipop or candy or peanut, whatever. And people take it and they have prashadam. That start their bank account. If their bank account was empty, which is not necessarily empty, we need to understand that, let's say, if my previous life, I was a Christian, Catholic, for example, in France, and I will go to church and I will pray. Even if I had one moment of really pure moment with Krishna or with God, as a Catholic, that go in my bank account. A Muslim, I go on my bank account. Yeah. And then, of course, we want to bring people to Krishna because we know Krishna is the most attractive one and the one that we can delight in very 5 type of relationship and intimacy. Yeah, so thank you for bringing up that one because this is exactly that we engage people in devotional service. And when I go out, if I used to go out and I will have books to carry, I will always find someone. Can you carry my books? Please. Anything. Can you open the door for me? Anything. I will engage people in serving the Sankirtan movement. Yes. Thank you for pointing out that Agata Sukriti, very important point in what we are speaking about today.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Namaste Prabhu. Anything else? We have a few more minutes. Discussion, comments, questions? Yes, Marielle.
I just want to share that it's very touching for me, this verse, because it's like a taste of Krishna's mercy, how big his love is for us.
Yeah. How big he accepts even a little effort. He accepts. His love is so big. You touch, I can see you're moved. You're moved by that. That's even a little effort. And even that little effort, like engaging people, like Anansia was saying, or our own effort to chant or to read or, to offer what we eat, to eat what we offered, can save us from what's called the most dangerous type of fear. The most dangerous type of fear. It saves us from hell. We don't see that with our eyes. I know in my lifetime, I'm 61, and I know that if I didn't give my life to Krishna, my life would have gone down the hill more and more, and very badly. But Krishna saved me, and probably from the most dangerous type of fear. But even, homeless in the street receiving candy or nuts or whatever, when they receive that, they're also protected from the most dangerous type of fear. Yeah. That's so merciful. Krishna is so caring. He doesn't want us to go to hell or go to a hellish place or difficult life. He really wants us back to him because he knows that's when we are going to be happy. And he's like Putana. She was coming to kill him, but he accepting her because she held him. She gave her breast, even her breast was poisonous. But just that, he accepted that as affection and he freed her. So what to speak of us? When we do an effort, of course, our efforts are mixed. They are mixed. We have material desire. We still want to gratify our minds and our senses. Still, we put some effort towards Krishna. Krishna is not an ungrateful God. Quite the opposite. When we give a little bit to Krishna, he reward us, yayatama papa leonte, tam sataiva bajamyaham. Mama vartmanuva tante. Mama, do you know the last line? Manusha, human, Manusha. Partha Sarvasa. Yayatamam Prapadanti. As we surrender unto him, and we all surrender unto him. Whatever we do, we may know it or not know it. We're acting as puppets to the material energy, which is Mama Maya, which is the Maya of Krishna. So as we surrender, as they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly.
Mm.
And all Manusha, they all serve me accordingly.
Mm.
Yeah. So if we give a little bit to Krishna, he gives us so much mercy, so much love, so much benevolence. Yeah. And then he sends us his holy name to chant. And just by chanting his holy name, it's like a fountain of auspiciousness that cover us with gold and nectar. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Anything else? We have a few minutes more. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to read the verse, Sanskrit and English again. Neha vikramana shosti pratyavayo navidyate swapamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato vayat. Again, the verse. It's a beautiful verse, like Mariel was saying. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you for being here, and I wish you a wonderful evening and hearing and chanting about the Lord and serving the Lord and remembering to fill up your bank account, that it's going to be with you even after the end of this body. Even at the end of this life, you're going to carry it with you. That's the only thing that you're going to take with you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Good evening.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.